Great Britain, seemingly stylish and sophisticated. A modern nation, sparkling and bright. But some people will tell you a different story.
It's rank, innit, mate? It's rank. I'm covered in your feces.
The people who clean up after us see another country. One filled with mountains of our muck they have to face.
I've never seen anything like it, mate.
I've had hoarders, but this is by far the worst.
Are you going to work hard for me today? So you're going to have a little picker in your hand, a dustbin and brush, and you're going to just look the part.
The lives of the men and women who do our dirty work
It's an adult bedbug.
reveal our national obsession with cleanliness.
Do not touch the china, some of it's priceless.
It doesn't really need cleaning over 2 days, but the person who owns this, they like it perfect all the time.
But they get to see how filthy we really are.
A lady's knickers in the toilet. Why would you do this here? You don't do it at home.
Our cleaners know the nation's dirty secrets. This is how Britain looks to them. The city centre of Manchester on a wet Wednesday night. These two men are here to perform a stomach-churning task. In Manchester's takeaway district, there's a nasty problem lurking beneath the streets.
That's gonna smell bad, mate.
Yep.
You won't be allowed on tram. Walking home.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get down.
Mick and Sean have one of the least pleasant jobs in Britain. They've come to unblock the main Oxford Street sewer by hand.
The amount of people who walk past and they're like, oh my God, how can you do that? But just gotta get on with it.
Ladders are a bit slippy, mate.
The cause of the blockage is very simple. Mixed in with the sewage, massive lumps of congealed fat.
Oh, look. That's the sort of fat and grease you're talking about.
Like decomposing bodies, it's disgusting. It's by far the worst. It's worse than a normal sewer smell, human excrement. I'd rather have that on my clothes than fat and grease.
The nation loves its deep-fried dinners, and we tip millions of gallons of cooking fat down the drains. 8 out of 10 block sewers are caused by this mucky behaviour. Across the country, people like Mick and Sean have to clear up the mess.
Look at the fat on the walls. It's pretty thick, and you've got like waste in there, tissue.
Human waste, kitchen waste, that's just congealed fat.
Not very nice, actually. Look.
This is the Britain that the rest of us don't see.
And at the moment, it's 99.9% blocked with fat.
Sean's gonna traverse down now, mate, break some of the fat off the walls. Okay? Can you smell the smells coming back off it as he's breaking it up?
It's that solid, this.
We Brits like to think we're a clean nation. Keeping up appearances is a national obsession. And in some places in Britain, expectations of cleanliness are particularly high. Cheltenham Racecourse is the playground of Britain's landed gentry. The very best tickets here can cost almost £800 a go. And today, it's Marcia's job to keep everything in order for over 30,000 well-to-do fans.
It's going to be a good day. As you can see, it's quite a good crowd coming through the gates. When somebody say they're going to the races, the ladies dressed up and the gentlemen put on their tie, and people have got that little bit of, you know, you never have a riot at a race course. Come on, have you heard of one?
Marcia gets parachuted in to tackle major events like this one across the UK. It's her job to deal with what happens when we get together in a crowd.
Yeah, you'll find burger wrappers, glass cups with drinks, betting tickets. 90% of the time, it won't go in the bin, it will be definitely on the floor. It's the mentality of the day at the end of the day. They're not going to go out of their way to make my job easy.
Not really going there, are you?
Oh, we're trying to, but it doesn't look like we're succeeding because you boys keep going in. I won't look.
Across the country, there are cleaners trying to keep things shiny. In our cities, they have one hell of a job. The square mile is where you'll find the best paid people in Britain. 1/3 commuters come here every day. Keeping their beautiful glass offices gleaming is a constant battle for our window cleaners. Amongst them, George and his colleague Ross, a window cleaner who has a difficult relationship with ladders.
I don't like them. Let's put it that way. Keep it simple.
But Ross and George have a much bigger task ahead of them. They clean one of London's most iconic skyscrapers, the 590-foot glass tower known as the Gherkin.
So how much of this building do you clean?
The whole thing, every inch of it.
Top to bottom, head to toe.
It's a lot of windows.
Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of windows.
So how long does it take you to finish the job?
To be honest, you don't finish. By the time you do
yeah.
finish, you have to start
You
again.
straight back
So it's
around
just
again.
like continuous.
In order to reach the heights of the building, Ross and George use a garage on the 36th floor. The window cleaning equipment is custom made and cost millions of pounds. The technology may be futuristic, but they do all the cleaning by hand. And up at this height, it doesn't pay to take risks with the weather.
Yeah, it's definitely an average of 20.
When they descend, Ross and George will be hanging from hundreds of feet of cable.
What's that, 25-3? Wow. That's some going.
Well, the limit for this individual machine is 12.5, so that is telling me, unless you can fly, don't attempt it.
Do you ever worry about falling?
I don't know, no, some days I do have off days where I do think about it, every now and then.
Nah, see, I think the more you worry about it, the more chance something will happen. It's always in the back of your mind. It's always in the back of your mind, of course.
Yeah, it's just like mind over matter, you just get on with it.
If you don't mind, it don't matter.
It takes Mick and Sean 8 hours to scrape out enough fat to get the sewer moving. But it won't be long before it's clogged up again.
As you can see, all the oil and fat coming through.
It's basically it's just coming in all the time, and that's why it's as bad as it is.
In a single shift, they can remove enough grease and sewage to fill 20 tankers. The fat will be sent off to be buried in landfill.
Dirty, wasn't it, that?
Pure filth.
Yeah.
That's what they expect.
Smelling it, mate.
This is work you definitely don't want to take home.
After a long job, you're like, oh. So I'll have a shower, I'll get my deodorant on, and then my aftershave and things like that, just so I smell good for missus when I get in bed. You can only hope, I suppose.
Hello, housekeeping.
Marcia's been cleaning for nearly 20 years. She gets a revealing insight into the behaviour of Britain at play.
A lady's knickers in the toilet. Why would you do this here? You don't do it at home. Is it because you know that there's somebody there to clean it up after you and you don't care because you don't have to do it yourself? Or is that I spend my money, so why not?
The efforts of our cleaners keep our mucky habits hidden.
Ah, Ty, you're a superstar. Brilliant.
But one person's rubbish is something someone else may want to keep.
You shouldn't have taken the bloody
No,
things.
no, don't swear at me, please. No, don't swear at me, because don't swear at me. It's on the floor. It's on. Yes, it does. It's on the floor. It's my job to make sure the place is kept clean. If it's loitering on the floor, I have to take it up. It hasn't got a name on it. So please don't swear at me. I'm not being rude to you at all.
You shouldn't do that.
No, yes, I should. No, I can't ask if something is on the floor. If I ask for every piece of thing that's on the floor, that's ridiculous, don't you think? No, it's on the floor, sweetheart. It's on the floor.
You just got no manners at all.
And how was I rude?
Working for the British public can feel like a thankless task.
That's a typical behaviour of how people treat cleaners.
Every day, British households throw out a gigantic 82,000 tonnes of rubbish, enough to fill around 9,000 shipping containers. And nobody gets a better picture of the scale of our mess than the people who have to deal with it. This is a specialist hygiene team, the SAS of British cleaning. When these chaps show up, you know there's something really dirty to be done. But the scale of the problem they're facing this morning is remarkable, even by their standards.
Oh, God.
The elderly owner of this house has just died, and it appears she never threw any of her rubbish away.
Where do you start in something like this, guys? I say it's disorganisation at the beginning, really, till we can get a bit of room and everyone can manoeuvre.
The place is overflowing with a bewildering jumble of bags and boxes. There's decomposed food, ancient milk bottles, and things that have been chewed up by rats. This is what 20 years' worth of rubbish looks like. It's nearly filling this large terraced home.
This is probably front sitting room, probably dining room area. Obviously you've got the kitchen. Call it a kitchen, but yeah, that's the so-called kitchen. You've got a little cupboard there. Probably one of our worst that we've had. I mean, it's really nasty.
Oh, nasty.
It's very bad. I've never had it this bad. I've had hoarders, but this is by far the worst.
I mean, there's mess and there's clutter, but this is rubbish.
Since Roman times, we've been burying our rubbish in holes in the ground. This is one of the largest landfills in Europe. 190 times the size of the Royal Albert Hall. 24 people spend their lives working here. They know better than anyone the huge scale of what Britain throws away.
You get TVs, hi-fi, stereos. Quite a few antiques that we've probably buried over the years. It makes me pretty sick when I watch the Antiques Roadshow now and wonder how much I've actually buried under this place. Well, perhaps I could have retired early. Not so long back there was someone they'd actually thrown a winning lottery ticket away that had gone into the waste, and they actually came out here to try and find it. I don't know why. I don't think people realise the scale of what one of these landfills actually is, especially a site this size. So I mean, when you come in here and you look around, you're hoping to find a lottery ticket, you can see that you're fighting a losing battle before you've even started.
The workers here bury 10,000 tonnes of waste each week. That's the weight of 700 double-decker buses. Most British households throw out 1 ton of rubbish every year. But what happened in this rubbish-filled house is a mystery. And it's not easy to find clues in the mess.
Ooh. Hey. 1991. Yellow plum jam, 1991. Let me lift it.
The decades of waste are being removed piece by piece. Everything has to be checked carefully in case there are hidden items of value. These extreme cleaners work in all kinds of strange places, from movie sets to murder scenes. But Mark and his colleagues are sometimes left struggling to make sense of the Britain they see.
We try to get on with the job, but as you go in, you know, you can't help but think whether she was a hoarder and wanted to keep it, or whether, you know, whether she was able enough in herself to carry this stuff. I don't know the situation. I mean, how it got like that is anyone's guess.
The 4-man team have been given a week to empty the entire house.
Yeah, there's ones I brought in.
You get thousands of things thrown around here. It's just dolls' heads there, building rubble. Just down here, there's even tomatoes growing wild down here. Trust me, there is.
Jim is a former policeman who's been working on the landfill for the last 12 months. He finds all kinds of revealing clues in our rubbish, like this evidence of wasted salad.
Oh, cherry tomatoes on this one. These ones are really ripe. You couldn't eat them. You don't know what's in the ground, do you? But they're dotted all the way over the site.
The average British household throws out £400 worth of uneaten groceries each year. And the contents of our dustbins reveal how British families spend their cash.
The thing that always sticks in mind is the amount of toys they're thrown away up here. If you walk around, there's bits of kids' toys everywhere. It just seems such a waste. Makes you wonder where it all comes from, doesn't it?
Across Britain, millions of us are all making things dirty. Every journey we make, every meal we eat, everywhere we go, we leave a mess.
Mar said to James, the bins seem to be full and overflowing.
Keeping the country clean is an epic task. The Gherkin has over 5,000 windows. Enough glass to cover 5 football fields. And Ross and George are expected to keep them looking spotless. Inside the peak of the building is one of London's highest bar and restaurants. It offers a unique fine dining experience with unrivaled scenery, if you can afford the £900 membership fee.
From when we're doing the outside, looking in, the food does look absolutely amazing, and I do like my food.
I'll be honest, I did have a little quick peek of the menu.
What?
And like
Confit duck with a...
No, the first one was pigeon.
Pigeon. Yeah, we could catch that outside and give it to them.
It's the view, isn't it? And it's the
Of
experience.
course, yes. Look at the view.
But the city's elite can only enjoy the panoramic view if the windows are clean on the outside too. Nearly 600 feet off the ground. The journey to the top of the Gherkin is aboard London's highest cherry picker. For Ross, the window cleaner who hates ladders, the biggest challenge was overcoming the fear factor.
The first time I saw this machine, honest, was the first day I started.
And what did you think?
Scared the life out of me. Up, up and away we go. think the look on their face is they're pretty astonished to see people this high up on the outside. I think they think that you're nuts, because a lot of them make signals as if to say you are crazy. But then a lot of people that work on the building don't seem to even acknowledge you, you know? It's just like an everyday thing for them. I don't know whether that's because they've seen you so many times doing it, or they've got more money that they're just not interested. Do I reckon they could do my job? Nah, I don't think so.
There is just one window on the building that Ross and George don't have to clean.
And we're just coming up to the peak of it now. And there's your skylight window. This window here is probably the most feared window on the whole building, without a doubt. I mean, it's scaring me just looking at it and even thinking about getting out of this basket.
This window is usually left to the elements. The only way to clean it is to climb out onto the summit on a rope.
Don't get me wrong, I like working up this high. Tell people about your job and they're not amazed, but so as soon as you say, oh, I clean the windows on the gherkin on the outside, they're like, no way, don't believe that. Till you show them a photo and then they think you're Superman.
On our landfills, the cleaning work is less glamorous. But the scale of the challenge is just as big. This army of litter pickers must stop millions of plastic bags and papers blowing away into the Warwickshire countryside.
On average, I pick up about 50 bags of rubbish a day. Yeah, it's a bit of a pain. Because of the wind, it keeps blowing all the rubbish before I can pick it up, so it's going everywhere down the field rather than staying on the fence line. It's a bit of a underlooked job. It's one of the little jobs, but it's one of the ones that people criticise the most. I mean, if you're walking down the street or anything like that, if you see a piece of litter, people moan about it. We're the people that have to come and pick it up.
And up here on top of the mountain of rotting rubbish, a man with 34 years' experience has to take responsibility for the smell.
Oh, my nose has been calibrated, believe it or not. I went on a course for odour management and I passed the test. So my nose, I've got a certificate for my nose. So, yeah. But I'm the only one here that I think, believe it or not, a couple of people failed. I don't know how, but they failed the test.
Across the site are designated odour monitoring points. Every day Kevin visits them to take in the air.
I'm smelling for odours that might be offensive. The smell sometimes you might get from the landfill site is, you put your rubbish in the bin at home and you might get a bit of a whiff like that. That's a bad smell. We don't like them smells. Obviously, we got families and buildings around this perimeter of the site. The last thing we want to do is upset our neighbours.
But the scale of our mess is so extraordinary, there's no end to the work to be done.
So what's your aim?
Trying to get upstairs.
We haven't seen up there yet. So it's a venturing into the unknown.
Nobody knows exactly how many cleaners there are in Britain.
Go, gadget arms.
But teams of them spend every working hour doing battle with our dirt.
Nice. Bubbly jubbly.
Martha to James, Martha to James.
Marcia's job takes her to events across the country. At 5 o'clock this morning, she was back at this 3-day race meeting. The event cleaners are preparing for another wave of crowds.
Not bad, looking good, smell good. Babes?
Every corner must be returned to perfection. From the top-class restaurant to the ladies' loos.
I don't seem to know what it is with women and their toilets. It might not smell like the men, but women seems to create a whole lot of more mess. And you find that all over. I'm not just talking in a race course, you find that in a football ground, you'll find that in a pub. Women's toilets are the worst, and they are, because I've experienced it over and over.
Careers in cleaning take all kinds of different forms. There's no end to the unpleasant business that these people have to face. This man's job is exterminating Britain's pests.
What's going on in here, man? It stinks. What is that smell? What is that smell? Has someone walked in crap or something?
It's definitely dog poo.
Where's the air freshener? Give it a good spray, please, Jill.
Is that better?
Jim is one of 30,000 pest controllers working in the UK.
Do you want the rat?
From his HQ, he and his team conduct a war against the capital's vermin.
No, I don't reckon I'd be any good at ratting, Jill. Yeah.
Good morning, Protex. Oliver speaking. About bed bugs. Yeah, how can I help? The thing is...
The modern British rat catcher is kept busy with all kinds of infestations. Jim is a former London cabbie who ended up following his dad into this notorious business.
I think because you're dealing with pests, you kind of almost get by association, because it's your job, you get kind of, people go, ooh. But listen, I've got no shame about being involved in the industry at all, you know. It's an admirable profession. I must admit though, my nose does twitch on occasion. I do sort of, you know, start exhibiting rat-like behaviour.
Today, Jim's going into a house that's crawling with bedbugs.
Is that a bite there on your neck?
It is. They've been going for my jugular.
Really?
Yeah, and my arms and my legs. Even though I go to bed fully clothed with a hoodie on, drawn up around my eyes like a ninja, with long socks, they're still
getting through your defences?
Yeah, very much so.
Any infestation of bed bugs is bad, because the thing is, it's the psychology of it. You know, you go into houses and the resident is like, what's that? What's that? Every little bit of fluff, every little tiny, you know what I mean? Just a little bit of fluff becomes a bed bug.
And our pest controllers are getting bedbug calls in rapidly growing numbers. In the 50s, Britain had killed almost all of its bedbugs. But the boom in foreign travel has brought them back here in their hordes. They hitch rides in our bags and on board our public transport. They've even been found staying in some of our most exclusive hotels.
What we've got up here is we've got spotting.
But they're just as comfortable in a modest student home.
If you look there, these little black dots, what look like ink dots, that's from the bed bugs. Here we've got more evidence of old skin cases. Oh, here we go, here's a live one. Here's an adult bed bug. So this is an adult bed bug that we've got here. He's off on his travels, look. I'll give him the good news, as it were. That bed bug is no more. Oh, here we go, look, he's got a little mate up here and all.
Bedbug infestations have gone up 100-fold since the mid-1990s. These bloodthirsty little creatures are going to continue to keep Jim busy. In fact, it looks like they may already have moved in with the neighbours too.
People don't just dump beds without good reason, and it seems a little bit suspect if you ask me. We've just done a bed bug job 2 doors down, and you've got these beds and stuff being dumped out here. It doesn't sort of, it doesn't require Sherlock Holmes, does it, to deduct that one? I think there's one on your shoulder.
Can't see any traces of rats in there.
Choosing to make your career in specialist hygiene means taking on some of the country's toughest cleaning jobs. Like the remarkable house clearance in Berkshire, where they're already 48 hours into their task.
As you can see, I scouted quite a fair way through this room, but it looks like I hardly touched it.
The deeper they dig in the rubbish, the more unpleasant the things that they find.
I don't like the colour of that. I'm not sure. But it's definitely body fluids.
"19-year-old Lewis is the team's newest recruit. He's never had to face anything like this before.
It's not really heavy.
How many van loads have you had out so far?
5th one now. And we're only in the kitchen still. Messy, isn't it?
Lewis only joined the company 4 weeks ago. This is his first full-time job.
Oh no!
Yes. Stink.
It's definitely...
I don't want to swear, so I don't really want to say what it smells like.
There's definitely a smell of human excrement.
Okay, I need 2 of you now. Start from one end and work your way all the way down to the end, okay? And empty the bins, okay? We'll be checking back, okay?
Many of the event cleaners who work with Marcia are casual staff. They're some of Britain's lowest earners.
Are you going to work hard for me today? Are you going to keep smiling and I don't have to chase you down all day, do I? Well, you know it's going to be hard, so have a good day.
Half of the UK's cleaners have moved here from abroad.
Brilliant stuff. We've got today the Nepalese, the Portuguese, we've got the British also, we've got a few Africans, we've got Jamaicans, I'm one of them, so we're quite diversified when it comes to races and culture.
Marcia herself moved to the UK 20 years ago and has always been in cleaning. She now has the challenge of supervising this global team.
It's gonna hurt them. They're all speaking Portuguese. Sweetie, come here. Come here. Sometimes it can be a challenge if you don't speak their language, but if you point and show, it's a bit of cleaning sign language and it gets done.
At the back of the field, still waiting with his masked man and Somatic as they come down towards the home straight now, having jumped.
3 days of racing. Total attendance, 65,000. 420 bins, 67 toilets, and just 80 staff. All Marcia's team can do is try not to lose control of the mess.
It's a challenge to get the job done, make it look good, make it look clean, especially in this kind of environment.
Dealing with our rubbish is a relentless task. It takes Lewis and his colleagues 3 days and 9 van loads of rubbish just to clear the ground floor. It's a brutal introduction to a career as a specialist cleaner.
Not too bad in there. Oh, look at that. Disgusting. These I don't mind, they like doing this. They like doing this. I'm not doing this.
What do you think they like?
I don't know. But would you like it?
Actually, yes, I do like these kind of jobs, you know. The house clearance jobs, we do not get that often, and
It's terrible.
it is actually nice to do something different.
What's so bad about it? Why don't you like it?
I like it.
Why don't I like it? Like, look around, it's fucking horrible.
There's worse out there, you know. The blood jobs I don't like, the body fluids, you know, blood, maggots everywhere, parts of the body, you know, they can be, you know, we have done some nasty ones after deaths. So this, compared to that, is nothing. You know, this is just dirt and grime.
Are you looking forward to that, Lou?
No, not so.
I said to Jack, you would not believe the wind that's blowing out here. We're gonna have big trouble. If it blows itself out through the gate, that would be good. We wouldn't have to do no picking in it.
When the crowds finally leave Cheltenham, the event cleaners have to stay and face the result. This is how Britain's cleaners earn their living, dealing with whatever mess we leave behind.
Come on, I know you want to go home, but we still got loads to do before you go. Where's your dustpan and brush? Trust me, after a while you're going to need a dustpan and brush. I respect these guys, because they're going all out for me. But this is the hardest part for these guys, and this is where I feel for them. Because it's late, it's cold, and they've been on their feet all day. Yeah, how many supervisor you get coming out here picking up with you? I'm superstar. Who likes working at this hour, at this time, doing this, when you're fighting against nature and human beings? At the end of the day, you wouldn't want your daughter or your mother out here at this hour of the night doing this. But somebody's got to do it.
Britain doesn't always look as we picture it. We give our cleaners a very different view.
What does it look like, Mike? What's the view like?
To me, what, junk?
Junk.
The rubbish-filled house in Berkshire is a challenge, even for a specialist hygiene cleaning team.
We were told 5 days, but obviously no one could actually gain access to see the full extent of it all. So yeah, it will run into next week, definitely.
Oh, there we go. That's too much up here.
They face harsh realities we'd rather not see.
People think because you're in the business of killing pests, that automatically you've got it in for all animals, and that's not the case. I'm an animal lover. I've got a cat, George. Most people are surprised when you tell them you've got a cat. You know, I go all soft when I talk about George. So you're not doing it because you want to inflict any sort of suffering or anything. It's because it's a job that's got to be done, you know?
Today, Jim has been hired to remove an infestation of pigeons. And this is the most humane approach he can employ.
Sometimes if we don't get a clean kill, we have to break the pigeon's neck. There we go.
I think we've taken them all out.
We've definitely made a dent in the numbers, haven't we?
We want our dirty business taken care of, but it's something that most of us choose not to face.
It's a necessary evil. I mean, it's funny because in our line of work, we always get people saying, oh, I don't care what you do, I don't care how you get rid of them, just kill them, get rid of them. But I mean, I know you've just seen me shoot maybe 15, 16 pigeons, but I know it's going to sound a bit of a contradiction now, but we do care about them. Look at these pigeons here, look, they're taunting us.
They are really having a laugh. They've come to crap down on us, Jim, that's what it is.
Do you know what?
Glass is out, poop.
You can't blame them, can you?
In the Midlands, there's another bird problem to deal with. And the huge landfill site has an airport nearby.
The problem is because of the vicinity of the airport, they get bird strikes. They feed here, and obviously they're flying in and out from the city, so they cross the airport all the time.
Jim's job is to prevent the number of birds getting out of control, with the aid of some bird power of his own.
Bella's 6 years old. She's a cross between a peregrine falcon and a lanner falcon. She's a very experienced bird. She's flown landfills for years. There she goes.
Falcons were once the prized possessions of British noblemen. Today their role is less glamorous. They're enlisted in the war against our grime.
And there go your seagulls. It doesn't even attack them. It just frightens them off. It's aggressive behaviour, and that tells the gulls that there's a hunting falcon. Once they think they're in falcon territory, they will leave the site because it's a predator, and they just will not fly on the site while there's a falcon flying.
Thanks to the efforts of the people who work here, the problem of our rubbish is kept out of our sight.
Nobody realises it's here, even people who live around the Midlands that pass it every day on the motorways. I mean, you couldn't actually miss the place, but people just don't even recognise it's here.
And they're racing for the sipping Krabby's alcoholic ginger beer cleaner.
A few days after the Cheltenham meeting, Marcia is at another racecourse facing a different crowd.
Marcia to Kim, can I have you up here for 5 minutes, please? I think we need to clear the floor.
She and her team are always cleaning, wherever other people are having fun.
Oh my God. Can you get me some gloves? Excuse me, you just walk it in that, please. Somebody throw up here, yeah? Oh shit, man. It's hard, and sometimes it can be demeaning and degrading, but that's what you sign up for when you do events cleaning.
It'd be funny for shaking back, innit? Not sugar, my friend.
It's Charlie!
It's Charlie!
The crowd here are having a lovely time. But the carnival atmosphere doesn't make it easy to clean.
Make it as clear as possible because you know they're going to start the disco in a minute now, yeah?
You tell them to sweep the steps because there's loads of glass on there.
Do you have to develop a bit of a thick skin, Marcia? You have to. You're in the cleaning business. You are the first person somebody will shout at, you know? So you take it with the job. Some people can be fabulous while some people can be not so fabulous. No, they need to go. They're out of order. Yeah? Those that are sitting on the table, they need to get up, man. Yeah, they're throwing stuff and creating all kind of havoc for no apparent reason. They need to get them out of the building, man. They're out of order.
Britain's cleaners battle endlessly to make the country shine.
Well, it needs to look immaculate all the time. Oh, of course. But it's a continuous thing. You'll never finish it. By the time you get to the end of it, you'll have to go and do it all over again. It's just week after week, month after month, year after year.
Day after day.
Same thing.
They have to keep themselves motivated to deal with a relentless torrent of muck.
When you're getting covered in sewage and things like that, a nice way of putting it is it's liquid money. It's paying the mortgage, paying the rent, keeping the kids in food. It's just a way of dealing with it.
Shut up! You cheeky little so-and-so, go away!
These are the people who try to keep our country tidy.
Get out, move!
We don't always give them the respect they deserve.
Even though you're here to give a service, you don't want to be treated like somebody who's nobody. Every industry needs cleaners. We are very important.
Our cleaners know the truth about our dirty behaviour. They fight on to stop Britain drowning beneath our waste.
I've never seen anything like it, mate. It's worse than we first thought. That is disgusting.